Welcome back. We're talking about suicide prevention. Thank you for staying with us. We have a few more minutes to go on the program. You can call in and ask your questions about suicide on 0808 054 2233. That's 0808 054 2233. And you can tweet at CTV_Mary A. While we continue to talk about the responsibility of the media in all of this, responsible reporting.
Exactly, that's it. Accurate and responsible and ethical reporting. Okay, of course the media has to report it. Okay, because it's a major incident. Every life loss is important. Okay, but the way it is reported, okay, you focus more on how to prevent it rather than the details of the particular case.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's so that you want to avoid sensationalizing the whole act itself. Once that, of course, there are guidelines, which are things we'll discuss when we have the workshop. So once the media is able to report it appropriately, it's less likely that you'll be suggesting to others who may be at that point. So that's why.
Okay. Now you also spoke about law and the police. There have been some of these copycat attempts in the recent past, just a few days ago, just yesterday actually, and we hear about the law taking its course in this matter. Now, if these suicides were genuine attempts to actually complete the action, should they be facing any repercussions, let me put it that way, any punishment?
Okay.
What do you think about this? What's the right thing to do for these people?
Okay, definitely the right thing to do would be to get them to access mental health services. Okay. And the reason why is because, of course, hitherto, many countries in the world had suicide criminalized. Okay, but WHO has since been urging countries to decriminalize suicide. The reason why is because it's been, over 90% of people who attempt to die by suicide have an underlying emotional problem. So rather than sentence them to imprisonment, in Nigeria they define the penalty is 1 year imprisonment according to section 327 of the criminal code. But countries like the UK, France, Canada, Australia, and many other countries have since decriminalized suicide because we realize that these people need help, not punishment.
Okay, let's take this call from Chike. Hello, Chike. Hello, Chike. What's your question? Chike, do try again. But let's continue anyway. So, you are advocating that it should be decriminalized. But the question I have is, can such people be psychiatrically evaluated such that you would know whether they were really planning to commit suicide or whether they just wanted to disturb the peace?
That is definitely part of the evaluation that a mental health specialist will carry out. Okay, you assess for the genuineness of the suicide intention or attempt. Okay, and you find out what underlying emotional condition the person may have. So that's why like I said, we need to work with the law enforcement agents.
Now, I was a bit concerned when I discovered that WHO is trying hard to reduce the incidence of suicide by 10% by 2030. Isn't 10% small? Is it that difficult?
It is difficult, okay? And of course, that's the WHO continues to evaluate that, okay? So the initial target is if we can reduce it by 20%, it translates to a lot of lives saved. Of course, the expectation is if we achieve that, we can go further, okay? And then, so it's just a milestone that's been set, a target, a goal, and hopefully, with countries coming on board, a number of countries still don't have a suicide prevention strategy, so those are the things, particularly African countries, so those are the things that the WHO is also trying to encourage. By doing that, because everybody has to be involved, hopefully they can achieve that goal by 2020.
Okay, isn't it true that if somebody has made up his mind, he's thought for a very long time, and he has made up his mind that he's going to take his own life, he gets to a stage where he doesn't really show signs. It's like he's this thing is set in stone, I'm going to do this, and he's calm.
Yeah, those who...
I'm concerned about such cases, you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, calmness, unusual calmness is also a sign that you want to look out for. People who are unusually calm, but they will, before then, they will have, displayed some other telltale signs. And they are calm.
Okay, so we're talking about a late stage
here. Exactly. At that point, they've now said, okay, we've made peace with those they need to make peace with. Some of them may modify their will. Some of them will settle scores. Some of them will have left the suicide. So at that point, they've made up their mind. That's why they are calm. There's a sudden sort of inner peace that they feel. And so that's also a warning sign.
Okay, let's take a call from Philip. Hello, Philip. Hello, Philip. Are you there? Philip doesn't seem to be getting through. But do keep trying. Do keep trying. We want to take those calls. You are a parent. And I'm sure that this, it will hit you exactly the way I want it to. Cult activities in schools, they can put children under so much pressure. But people are so scared to report cult activities. They are just there suffering in silence, and sometimes these things lead to, suicide attempts. What can people do to break that jinx?
Well, the issue of cult activities is multifaceted. Okay, there are a lot of issues. Of course, a number of them are just succumbing to peer pressure. Okay, they want to identify and all of that. And of course, the age of the child also. You suddenly find a child who is not yet mature, being in a higher institution, and can't really make up his or her own mind. So those are the things that contribute. But what's the only way to help stem that is the support system that each child has, the moral values and all of that. And that's why it comes to the matter of parenting, okay? The parent not being absent in the child's life. Because, places that children can learn about right or wrong morals are the church or religious bodies, the mosque, the school, and then the home. Now we have the issue is threatened in the home because the parents are often out of the house, pursuing means of livelihood. The school hitherto used to be a very important place where people can learn about morals, but again, that seems not to be the case anymore. So you're left with mainly the religious bodies and other things. And of course, the social media, the internet, is training a lot of children, rightly, wrongly.
Those things should be criminalized, shouldn't they? Or at least there should be some sort of blocking system for certain ages. There should be.
But I tell you that if you go on the internet, there are sites that actually teach people how to commit suicide. It's that bad, and these sites are up. So you may not be able to shut them all down, but it's about knowing what your children are browsing on the internet. Check the history, okay, and then be able to. These are things that parents can do. With that, you can identify when they are tilting the other way, and then try and bring them back.
Okay, I understand that there's a lot of stigma connected with suicides and all that. But let me even ask: is it possible for somebody to be affected such that he wants to also commit suicide just by being in association with somebody who is suicidal? I don't know if you understand my question. Somebody is suicidal, A is suicidal, because B spends a lot of time with him. Does B now become suicidal?
Well, it depends on the person's personality traits, okay, and other things as well. Of course, you have people who go into suicide pacts. They decide to, as a group, commit suicide. That's because they have this belief that the group is more important than the self.
Okay.
And so they would rather do anything that will foster the interests of the group. Okay, and so of course those are the issues behind the suicide bombers and all of that. They are over-identified with an ideology or a group. And so, yes, that's one way.
In such a situation, it could happen.
Yes.
And that's like cult activity anyway.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
The doctor-to-patient ratio, with all these attempts, it's definitely not enough.
It isn't.
How do you plan to handle, the problem. Can people other than psychiatrists, psychologists be trained in such a way that they can also help with the effort to reduce suicides? Before you answer that, let's quickly take this call.
At the point of somebody trying to commit suicide, that means that the person is at no point of return, doesn't even care. And what should be done is to actually try and help the person, because it's even good that the person is not trying to kill another person, but him or herself. So they should take away that criminal offense of somebody trying to kill him or herself. It doesn't make any sense. What they should concentrate on is to try to get help for the person. The person actually needs help. Everybody wants to live no matter what. That's why at a time, even when you see them, somebody trying to hang himself, once you take off that tooth, he's struggling to live again. So what they should do is to try and put in more effort in trying to help those people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's somebody corroborating what you said some time ago. We were talking about getting other people to join in with you on this fight.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you can't fight it alone, okay? It needs to be a concerted effort, and then people need to join hands. So most of the time, suicide initiatives ask for volunteers, okay? And the volunteers are trained. Because you mentioned psychiatrists. We're less than 250 in the country, for a country of over 160 million. So that tells you how bad the ratio is. Same thing with psychologists, who are trained in mental health. They are, very limited. So we can't possibly reach the entirety of people who may need our services. So
these are the hotlines that anybody can call,
yes,
and they will get help.
Yes.
They will get help.
They will get help.
We have the doctor's promise. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll flash those when we're leaving the program. It's been a wonderful time. And thank you for staying with us and letting us into your homes. This is an opportunity for us to join in on the fight to make sure that we reduce suicide attempts. Thank you very much for staying with us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Have a great day.